My nephew Louis said, "Sir, some bad news has come." And I thought a family member had died or become sick. But he said, "No, it's not that. We weren't able to save anything from your house. It's all burned up."
Jacob's house was a beautiful house. He had saved up his money and from timber cutting and stuff like that, and he had built a wonderful metal roof house with all sorts of good carpentry detail on it. It was a beautiful house. And then he was over at a church meeting for all the leaders, and in just no time at all, there were white flames just consuming the whole house, everything. And solar panels, metal things, everything. It burned so quickly and so hot that nobody could stop or grab or pull anything out. It was just gone.
Pastor Kais and that entire clan laid hands on me and prayed for me and said, "Go and be at peace." When I saw the burned house, I cried for a short time and then forgave. I gave it into God's hands. I don't know the reason this house burned.
He was over at another village when the whole thing happened. And then, rather than just running back here quickly, he'd gone up there to pick up a load of Bibles that had gotten stranded up there at the Wannon Bridge area. And so he paddled the long canoe back a couple-day trip down here and finally got the Bibles delivered to me before he even took the time to go up to see what had happened to his house. And he said, "Yes, I cried, but my kids and my grandchildren did not die. They weren't in the house when it went up in flames so quickly." So that's the big thing. He was very thankful, even in the midst of the whole thing.
My belief and my thinking is this. If I suspect and accuse people, people aren't able to return all my things. They're burned and gone. God alone I trust, because He's able to return my things, and I put them in God's hands.
The amazing thing to me when watching the whole thing was the way the church in the whole area helped. People came, they prayed, they each gave money so that they would have money to buy things that they needed. They're not rich people here. They just gave. What I would give Jacob was just out of my abundance. It didn't cost me anything. It was just extra stuff I had. But they gave out of their own stuff. He said some of them gave a shirt, some of them gave trousers, so that they all had clothing, because everything got burned. So to see the community coming around him and supporting him and encouraging him, that was a real blessing.
And now I see God's hand is at work. I thank God. Even though this bad thing happened, God's hand hasn't left me. God is still here.